Cedar Fair has changed a lot over the past years, especially at some of the bigger parks. Rides are becoming less frequent, but expansions are bigger than ever before. This got me wondering, what does the future look like for Cedar Fair? This is what I think the future of Cedar Fair will look like. Before we talk about the future, we have to look at the past of Cedar Fair. Starting in 2006, Cedar Fair was a thriving amusement park business. It had just acquired Paramount Parks, bringing the total parks from 6 to 11. It also turned the mostly small park chain into one of the biggest, with parks like Kings Island, Canada's Wonderland, and Carowinds acquired. It was an amusement park chain similar to that of Six Flags. Most, if not every single ride in the parks were unthemed. They were meant to thrill guests, nothing less, nothing more. This was true up till about 2013. Then, the chain entered a new strategy which they are still using to this day. 2013 was the opening of Gatekeeper, and from then on, every new coaster would result in a massive renovation to the surrounding area. This included rides like Copperhead Strike, Steel Vengeance, Orion, and even Railblazer, which was at a much smaller park. They have yet to go back on this style of ride openings. Let's discuss what this strategy could do for the larger parks in the chain. One thing that is worth mentioning is that there is more and more downtime between large coaster investments. Cedar Point, a park that usually gets investments every 2 to 3 years, is going on 5+ years without a coaster. In those gap years, parks are investing in different attractions. These include restaurants, shows, and overall park improvements. For example, Cedar Point in 2020 didn't add much of anything. Instead, they added a few restaurants including the Roost and the Wild Turnip. That was the same as the year before, with 2 restaurants and Forbidden Frontier, a unique walk-through attraction. Some parks, such as Kings Island, didn't add anything in some years, just repainted rides and made some overall park improvements. And this is happening with all of the big parks: Cedar Point, Canada's Wonderland, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, and Carowinds. Eventually, all the sections of the park are going to get a renovation. Cedar Point has already renovated Gemini Midway, Frontier Town, Marina Midway, and soon Lakeside Midway. Kings Island renovated Area 72, Rivertown, International Street, you get the point. A lot of people seem to agree, including myself, that Cedar Point is heading down the resort path. This is because of the already present resort atmosphere and recent focus on making the park more well-rounded and with more activities. But I also think that this is happening with the other big parks in the chain. Kings Island especially, with the recent renovations on their rides, the 50th anniversary, and the recent Camp Cedar, Kings Island could also be entering the resort atmosphere. This is the same with the other 3 big parks. Not as much for Kings Dominion, but definitely Canada's Wonderland and Carowinds. Notice all of these parks have the People Eater coasters and also rides for thrill seekers and families. Carowinds has Intimidator and Fury as the People Eaters, Copperhead, and the smaller rides for families, and Fury and Afterburn for thrill seekers. This is the same for the other parks. I predict that each of these parks in the near future will become a huge destination park. All of them are near or in massive cities that could benefit from having a big resort. Kings Dominion might wait longer to add more because of Busch Gardens Williamsburg nearby and the flop that was Intimidator 305, but that is just a guess. Kings Dominion does have a lot of room now with Volcanoes removal, and that upgraded section where Toonbeely is going looks fantastic. So how do these parks turn into resorts? Just like Cedar Point, they need a world-class coaster, which Carowinds and Kings Dominion already have. They also need upgraded sections, which Cedar Fair is already doing well. Finally, an on-site hotel. Kings Island and Cedar Point have these already, it's just the other 3 that could benefit from an on-site hotel. Also, more theming could benefit the resort atmosphere. Carowinds, Kings Island, and Cedar Point are already experimenting with the theming in sections like Frontier Town, Blue Ridge Junction, and Area 72. This has greatly helped the parks, as all of these sections are one of, if not the most popular sections in the park. They don't even have to be heavily themed, just rides fitting the atmosphere and restaurants fitting the style. Kings Island and Area 72 did this perfectly. And the resort atmosphere will build up attendance a lot, causing much more revenue. People would also be staying at hotels at the park more, causing for even more money. But that's just the big parks. What about the smaller parks? Will Cedar Fair continue to neglect these smaller parks? What I consider small parks are California's Great America, Valley Fair, Michigan's Adventure, Worlds of Fun, and Dorney. Knott's Berry Farm is already a resort with themed lands and rides, so it'll be excluded. I believe if the park is in the middle of nowhere or near other parks, then they are not going to invest as much because it will not break even. These 2 parks are Dorney Park and Michigan's Adventure. I highly doubt Cedar Fair will invest a lot in these parks. A park that I do think will see growth soon is Worlds of Fun. It already has a light theme from different countries and a good ride collection. It also has a lot of space for expansion. If Cedar Fair invested in this park, it could become one of the most popular in the chain, being located in the center of Kansas City and is much cheaper than the massive Silver Dollar City. For the smaller parks, an on-site hotel won't be as necessary until they gain more attendance. Valley Fair doesn't have a theme, but is one of the nicest looking parks in the chain. It has a lively atmosphere and a decent ride collection, only missing a standout coaster. It's also the only traditional amusement park in the area, and it serves the massive Minneapolis metropolitan area. Cedar Fair could definitely upgrade this park and gain a lot of profit. This goes for California's Great America, too. It serves the San Jose and San Francisco area and is a much nicer park than Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. It also already has a standout coaster, and Cedar Fair is willing to spend in this park, shown by recent expansions. This park could have potential to become one of the biggest in the chain. What could this mean for the future of the amusement park industry? I think that Cedar Fair could possibly grow to be the best chain in North America, if not the world. These resorts and expansion in smaller parks means revenue. This also increases the chain's popularity among guests, causing for more return visits or visits to other parks they own. Could this mean that other chains have to bounce back? Chains like SeaWorld or Six Flags may have to add more investments. This means that a competition will spawn between the parks. Each park will keep bouncing back, which for coaster enthusiasts is great news. Cedar Fair might even acquire a new park to then have more properties. The future is bright. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment saying what you think the future holds for Cedar Fair. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.